Hi, thanks to organizer for this great event. I'm just going to quickly guide you through some of the basic setting of getting your R workshop in the cloud. I'm not sure, but I expect most of you have got already experience of setting up in Amazon servers, so first part of the talk is going to be literally about that. So it's a bit tedious process. You have to go through several steps. And basically, it could be quite boring sometimes. So I hope you're not going to fall down. Those were supposed to be GIFs rather than just pictures, static pictures, but it doesn't matter where George goes under the table. Anyway, so first of all, you obviously need to set up the account with Amazon. So once you set up the account, then the next slide. The next thing, you need to set up your virtual private cloud. All those things are straightforward, and you just follow the instructions from the Amazon's dashboard. So once you have set up your cloud, next you set your instance on that cloud. So again, next slide. So then you can really start going through all those steps of setting that instance that would run your RStudio. So you again following the predefined options by default, so you launch your instance, and then once your instance has been launched, you basically then decide on what kind of machine you want in the background. If you're running a small class, obviously you can get away with using a default free instance from Amazon that you don't need to pay for first year. And next thing is the most important part of the setup. So you need to make sure that you enable your IP to be public, and you set your details, which would actually enable the installation of R and RStudio and all the packages that you want users to have. So basically, you would need to go on to RStudio's website, get the information of the latest version. So you will, in your description, install R. You will ask for latest version of RStudio to be added, and then you would list the packages that you would like users to have available. So in this case, dplyr, ggplot. And then finally, because they would be logging online, so you're giving the username that they would use, and finally the password that would allow them to access that RStudio in the cloud. So once you have set it all up, then you need to enable your instance. You add the port on which you would like to run, and you basically create the key that you're going to pair if you already have key, or create a new one. So then you let that instance to get set up on RStudio on Amazon, and once it's set up, then you would copy that IP address to which you would, if we go on to next slide, you would add the port, which we previously have said 8787, and that's what the user is going to be able to see once it's logged on. You would also be able to add to your virtual cloud workshop all the codes and everything that you would like users to have. So if you have several users in your workshop, so obviously they would all be able to have all the setting that you want, so there wouldn't be any delay in installing any packages or downloading or putting from the stick any of the source files, etc., etc. So that's in terms of Amazon. But recently, RStudio has also launched their own RStudio Cloud, which is really that easy to use. Especially if you worked in academia and your institution have used blackboards, it's very similar in the features of terms of setting it up. So basically what you do, you again open your account on RStudio Cloud, and as an instructor, you set a new instance. So basically, new space, and that would basically create a classroom. So then you would invite your students using their email addresses to access your classroom. You would add to your classroom all the necessary source codes, install all the packages that you want them to use, etc., etc. So set up projects if you have that you want them to work on. So you can set up as Markdown files that they can read. You invite the students. So here I'm seeing myself as an instructor, and then I'm adding Alan as a student, so I'm adding him as a contributor. Then if we go on the next slide, students would get invitation email asking them to log on to get access to the classroom. And then this is from students' point of view. So students would be able to get into the classroom and access the projects, access the script files as temporary files. So for them, to enable them to work on those projects, what they need to do is save this in their space. And so once they save that as their own copy, they can work on it. So that is from students' point of view. They're working, they're doing stuff on that script file. And you as an instructor on the other side, so from the next slide, we can monitor what this student, Alan, is doing. So I can access his files and see how far away he has progressed, and also enable monitoring of their progress. So that's basically how it's done in RStudio Cloud, and it's that easy and straightforward in comparison to Amazon, where you have to go through several steps that could be quite tedious from time to time. So here are my contact details, so if you have any questions and want to get in touch, feel free to buzz me. Thank you.